What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out some of the best budget phones that you can buy in 2018. Now of course a budget phone means different things for different people, but for me personally a budget phone is the phone that offers the most value for the least amount of money. So all the phones that I'm about to show you in this video can be bought for under $200. If you search for a budget phone on any Chinese website or even on Amazon, there are hundreds and hundreds of results. And of course, choosing the right phone, it's not that easy. Now, if you buy a phone just based on the specifications that you see online, what you get in reality and what you see online, it's always very different. So that's why I'm only going to show you phones that I personally got to try and test out. If you want to see the full review for any of the phones that I'm about to show you, feel free to check the video's description because I'm going to leave some links in there. Also, don't forget to press that like button because it's going to make a huge difference for this video. And with that being said, let's start with number 5. At number 5 we have the UMIDIGI S2 Lite. This is a phone that costs around $150 and this is one of the few Chinese phones that will work with some US carriers. We have Android 7, we have the MediaTek 6750T CPU, we have 4 gigs of RAM and a 4000 mAh battery that allows you to use the phone for a couple of days on one charge. The phone has a beautiful 6-inch screen with a 18:9 screen ratio but with a 1440x720p resolution, so not the highest resolution out there. Even though we have two cameras on the back of the phone, the second camera is fake, so you have to rely on the main 16 megapixel camera on the back of the phone. The picture quality is decent but nothing spectacular. The UI is very close to stock Android and that keeps the phone very smooth and very speedy, and that is one of the main reasons why I included this phone in the top 5 video. So overall this is a premium looking phone with decent specs, great performance but an average camera. Make sure that you check out the full review of the UMIDIGI S2 Lite before making a purchasing decision. Moving on to number 4, here we have the Nubia M2. This phone was released about 6 months ago and it used to cost somewhere around $450. Now you can get this phone for about $160 and for that price we get unbelievable value. So first of all, we get a very premium looking phone that's made out of metal and glass, and we also get a Snapdragon 625 CPU and 4 gigs of RAM. We also have a 5.5-inch screen that's also an AMOLED screen. This is probably the only phone this cheap that gets an AMOLED screen. The performance from that Snapdragon 625 CPU, it's great and the phone performs very smooth in most situations. The rear cameras take amazing pictures and the phone can even take pictures with that portrait mode that we see from much more expensive devices. So yes, even though we have a phone that costs about $160, the picture quality from this phone, it's absolutely amazing. The only reason why I have this phone at number 4 is the operating system. So this phone is running Android 6 and it doesn't seem like it will get any updates anytime soon. If you don't mind using an older operating system, this is an exceptionally good phone for its low price. As always, you can find some links for the full review and some links to buy this phone in the video's description. Moving on to number 3. So here we have the Meizu M6 Note and this phone is very similar to the Nubia M2. We have the same Snapdragon 625 CPU and you can get this phone with either 3 or 4 gigs of RAM, but we get Android 7.1. So that's basically a step up from the Nubia M2. Once again, we get a very premium looking phone that's made out of metal and glass, and we also get 2 rear cameras that are able to take exceptionally good looking pictures, mostly considering that this phone costs about $170. The performance is also great and the phone can handle most games available in the Google Play Store. We also have a 4000 mAh battery inside this phone that can keep the phone going for a couple of days and about 8 to 9 hours of screen on time in between charges. Since this phone was released last year, it doesn't get that 18:9 screen ratio, and that's the main reason why I had to place this phone at number 3 and not higher. Overall, this is another great phone for under $200 and I highly recommend this phone if you're looking for a great budget phone. At number 2 we have a phone that you probably never heard of. This is the NUU G3 smartphone, a phone that costs just under $200 and it's also compatible with some US carriers. This phone will also be available in Europe in a couple of weeks and of course it will work with most European carriers. The NUU G3 looks fairly similar to the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus and we also get glass on the front and on the back of the phone. The phone is powered by the MediaTek Helio P25 CPU, so a fairly powerful CPU that's also paired with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. The 5.7-inch screen looks great, but we only get a 720p resolution. Now, personally I don't mind that at all, but I know that some of you don't agree with me. The phone is running Android 7 and the UI is very close to stock Android, and that keeps the phone very speedy as well. I was also very surprised to see how good the rear cameras are. So we have two cameras on the back of the device and the cameras aren't fake. The phone can take some great looking pictures even in low light, and you can even take some good looking portrait mode pictures. So once again, for a phone that costs about $200, the picture quality is quite impressive. So if you're in the US and you're looking for a great budget phone, you should definitely check out the NUU G3. And of course, if you wanna check out the full review, I'm gonna leave a link in the video's description. And lastly, at number 1, we have the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus. You can get this phone for about $160, and once again, for the price we do get a lot of value. I've placed this phone at number 1 because of the reliability that we get from the Xiaomi brand and also the timely updates. So this phone has a 5.99-inch screen with the 18:9 screen ratio and of course a 1080p resolution. We get a Snapdragon 625, and you can get this phone with either 3 or 4 gigs of RAM. On the back of the phone we only get one camera, and I don't think the camera on the back of this phone is as good as the cameras that we've seen on the past 3 phones. And of course you're not going to be able to take any of those pictures with the so-called portrait mode. So the camera is decent, but definitely not as good as the cameras that we've seen from the last 3 phones. Like most Xiaomi devices, we get great build quality, and we also get great battery life from the built-in 4000 mAh battery. So you can expect about 2 days on one charge, and out of that between 8 and 10 hours of screen on time. So definitely great battery life. So if you're looking for a good affordable phone and that's also reliable, the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus will be a great device for you. And once again, you can find the full review for this device in the video's description. So there you have it. These are the top 5 best budget phones that you can buy in 2018. Now, as we all know, there are new phones coming out every single day, and it's kind of hard to keep up with all of them, and I'm gonna try to make one of these videos every 3-4 months, so this way you can catch up with the phones that you missed. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, don't forget to press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.